Let me tell you a secret. If you have a gap of 1, 2 years, or 3 years after your bachelor's degree doing something, maybe preparing for competitive exams like GATE or CAT, or maybe UPSC or engineering services exams or something else, it's not really a gap for German universities. I know it's a concern for you because that's how it is in India. You are looked down upon when you apply for a job if you have a 1 year of gap, or maybe you did something else, you had failed subjects. And it's not necessarily the case when you apply to German universities. If you can explain, that's not a problem. Hey everyone, welcome back to my another video. My name is Rushikesh and I make videos on university education, working and life in Germany. Before we move ahead, did you subscribe to the channel? Because your support means a lot to me and you can get benefited from my amazing videos that I post every week. I'm sorry things didn't work out for you well the way you had planned it. I really appreciate, and it was very brave of you to come out of that loop and do something else. I know it wasn't an easy decision for you, and that's what I'm going to address in this video: do's and don'ts of a German university application when you have a career gap, for like maybe because of the preparing for civil services exams or competitive exams. It could be GATE or CAT, as I mentioned before, any kind of competitive exams that you name it. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is, if you have a gap, a career gap after your bachelor's degree, doesn't matter because of what, this video is for you. I have talked with hundreds of people. I take really short calls and people ask me questions and I answer them right away from my experience, from my research. I think you can even find the link in the video description, and if you want to schedule a call with me, or you can talk, if you want to talk to me, you can do that as well. The question is, I have a gap of these many years and now I'm thinking about studying in Germany, but I'm really concerned that whether this gap will affect my application, or whether will I be accepted in a university because I have a gap of these many years. To give you a short answer, yes, it is possible. But like a mutual fund advertisement, there is a small sentence at the bottom: conditions apply. So in this video, I'm going to talk about those conditions, or you can say my suggestions or my advice. Based on those conditions, you can evaluate if you want to apply to German universities for your masters, or else if Germany is a right option for you or not. There are two things to consider here. One is, what's the possibility for you to apply to a German university? I mean, do you even satisfy eligibility criteria? And now let's talk about that. So when I say the eligibility criteria, German universities ask for a minimum grades. So you have to have, for most of the universities, you have to have 2.5 German grade. In Germany, the grading system is different than how it is in India. So in India, we have, if it is like pointer based system, 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest pointer and 10 being the highest pointer. And if your percentage, 100%, 90% percentage. In Germany, it's the opposite. We have a grading system. It's 1 to 5, where 1 being the highest grade, or the most or the best grade is 1, and then 5 being the lowest grade. So they ask you to have minimum of 2.5 grade. It's like depending on university, but I'm saying most of the universities, they ask for at least 2.5 grade in your bachelor's degree program. So that means here you have to check how much grade you have. Just satisfying the grade criteria is not going to guarantee you an admission, because the competition is really high and German universities tend to focus on the academic part, so they will look at your GPA. So that's why I suggest here to have grades criteria fulfilled. Now the another point in eligibility is the relevant bachelor's qualifications. When you have made up your mind to do masters in Germany, you have somewhere indirectly agreed to be in the field where you have studied your bachelor's in. Why I'm saying that? Because German universities ask for a master's application, they ask you to have a relevant bachelor's degree. What I mean by that here is, if you have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and you want to apply for a computer science program, that's not entirely possible because you don't have computer science subjects that you had studied before. You don't have credits for that. Probably here you will not be eligible for that program. But I think if you really want to get into that, then you have to show some relevant proofs that what you have studied, how you have studied, and maybe you have this knowledge that the master's program is asking for. It is possible, but it just gets way more difficult. So if you satisfy these two things, you can go ahead. I think then you are eligible to apply for a master's program. Now the next step is, what is it that you can do to improve your chances of getting admission into the German university. What I'm going to tell you now is completely based on my research or maybe from my experience talking to hundreds of people. If you're applying to master's program and you have a gap of few years, in that period of gap you basically have forgotten the concepts of what you had studied before from your bachelor's degree. Studying in a relevant master's program means having that knowledge before, like having that knowledge before you even start your program. So what I'm trying to say here is, don't apply to big universities or maybe technical universities. Those programs are quite difficult to do. It takes more than 2 years to finish them. If you had no interest earlier from your bachelor's degree and you are studying that, it's going to be way more difficult for you. The subjects will not be easy to pass. The exams will be difficult. Here the exams have a different scenario. The professors want you to understand the concept and write the exams in that way. It's not like in India where you get a question and you read the theoretical part and you can answer it like that. It doesn't work here like that. The exams are quite practical and that requires you to have those concepts understood. So what I am trying to say here is, don't apply to big universities if you are not really that interested studying that program or going deep into that program. As I'm saying, it's just a suggestion and you have to understand, or you have to analyze your own capabilities and find out your interest in studying that program. So as long as it is clear for you, go ahead. Now, when I say that don't apply to big universities, what option do you have? So there is something called Hochschule. It's like the University of Applied Sciences. They mostly have 1.5 year programs and it's like more practical oriented approach. It's quite easy to pass, as in you will finish it in time. And then what your goal is to, if you want to go into industry or start a job here, then it's much easier for you to come out of Hochschule and get a job. Next thing what I'm going to suggest, what you can do is, when you have decided to leave those competitive exams or different job and you want to apply to German universities for that master's program, I would say that do some relevant projects or do some relevant courses for you to prepare for those kind of master studies. So that will help you, explain your interest in your application. I'm going to come to that motivation letter part where you can explain all those things, but right now I'm just enlisting what you can do to show your interest in that master's program, right? So one thing is doing some extra projects, like doing some voluntary projects, you can say. Also you can do, if you have an option, you can do internship, or maybe do some extra courses from Coursera or Udemy or things like that, right? When you have thought of studying in Germany, you can also try to learn German up to certain level, maybe A2 or B1, like that, to show some seriousness that you are interested in studying in Germany. Or it may improve your chances of getting admission, because German language is kind of crucial when you start studying here. So anyway, you will be learning it, so why not learn in the first place and then come here? So it's going to make your life a little bit easier. Now comes the most important part of your application. What we saw till now was just the application process, what you need to do, what you need to have. But all these dots are connected in this place, that is the motivation letter. So in this document, you have to explain why are you interested studying in that particular university. And when you are writing that, you can explain your gap here. That means you don't have to go too much in detail. You just say what you did in that particular time. The rest of the thing is, emphasizing about your skills, what you did, and how it is relevant for that master's program, how you satisfy those eligibility criteria, trying to convince why you are the right person for that master's program. So the points that we had discussed before, doing some extra projects, learning German language, or maybe gate qualifications, or maybe extra projects that you did, the courses you did, what you studied in those. So all these things you have to explain in a convincing way that proves that okay, you are good to go, you are the right choice to get into that master's program. And that's it, that's what you have to do. Apart from that, your gap will not play a big role unless you didn't explain it properly. With all this, I hope you do get admission, and if you do, then don't forget to comment on this video, because people who will be watching this are also in the same situation, and then your comment will also motivate them a little bit to go ahead. So that's all in this video. I hope you liked it. You can also share this with your friends or family who are in a career gap or who are struggling and they want to, they think of studying in Germany. You can share this video with them, and I hope that will be useful for them as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because more content like this coming next week. So that's all for now, and I will see you again. Bye bye.